Thinking about coming to Florida? Wait. Don't. But if you must, watch this video. I'm about to go over some things that's going on in the news this week, and it might help you out a little bit before you get here. Let's get into it. Now, first up, remember last week I put out a video talking about the 2 depressions that were brewing in our waters. But guess what? Both of them are now hurricanes. Well, Nadine's a tropical storm, but they say it's probably going to get up to a, category 1. But the thing about Nadine, it ain't going nowhere. Okay? You ain't got to worry about Nadine. Just going to churn right there and then die out in the near future. Now, it's a different story when it comes down to Oscar because he's already a hurricane and he's just churning over these islands right here. But the state of Florida, we don't have to worry about Oscar because he ain't even coming in our direction. Now, you can see Oscar ain't even coming in our direction. I think it was like one model that was going that way, but we ain't worried about that. He's going to go off into the Atlantic. Nobody cares if he gets bigger. He's going to go off. Hopefully he just dies out. We have nothing to worry about. All right, next up, we got this story here. This lady, okay? If you're from Florida, you might have heard about this story, but this lady here, this her boyfriend. She ends up putting him in a suitcase. I guess they were like playing a game, she says, okay? And apparently she says that she fell asleep and forgot the boyfriend was inside the suitcase. But always a but when it comes down to Florida news, all right? So apparently this genius records the whole encounter, all right? And the whole time that this video is going on, she's selling bro out. He's in the suitcase, telling her he can't breathe. Please let me out. Now, the whole time she's filming this, situation, she's saying all kind of off the wall stuff, like something real disturbing. But when she's done like filming and doing her thing, she goes to bed and go to sleep and leave bruh inside the suitcase. Now, we all can just, imagine what happened to the boyfriend, all right? So she gets arrested. And when she's arrested, she's got this whole, I forgot. I didn't know he was in there still. I went to sleep. All kind of stuff when the police picked her up. But the thing about it is that you filmed it. You filmed yourself talking junk to him, drinking wine, all kind of stuff. You must have forgot you filmed it. Now, it gets even, more crazier because her trial just started. Her defense is self-defense. She claims that the boyfriend was abusive. And at that time, she said she was fearing for her life. That's why she tricked him, played the game with him, hide and seek. Yeah. And left him inside of there because she said she was scared for her life. But that's not it. That's not it. She's claiming when he was inside the suitcase, he was sticking his finger to try to, you could move the zipper maybe. And she says that's the threat. He already was angry before I put him inside the suitcase. And when he was trying to put his fingers in and take out the zipper, I felt threatened for my life. Now look, I done heard a lot of crazy things in my life, but I'm gonna be honest with you. That tops it. That's the craziest, almost the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Look, lady, you going to prison for a very long time. Now, next up, if you from Florida, you heard of, Lieutenant Dan, became famous over, Hurricane Milton. Stayed on his boat, rode out the hurricane. Shout out to my dog, but they arrested him the other day. Why? One of the, charges is that he was sleeping in the park. They told him he couldn't do that. You got to get out of the park. Y'all know the new Florida law, right? But the other one was they told him that he couldn't stay on his boat because he didn't have proper sanitation measures to be on the boat. But what y'all expect brother to do? He's homeless. The place where he was living, perfectly fine, until Hurricane Milton, wasn't nobody bothering, bro. You told him he can't stay there. What you want him to do? Now, during Hurricane Milton, they told Lieutenant Dan not to stay in his boat, okay? News stations came out, creators, everybody and their mom and them came to see Lieutenant Dan to see if he was okay. Now, I believe this is where the problem started for Lieutenant Dan because they've been messing with him ever since because he rode out the hurricane and he survived. On top of that, bro only got one leg. Hence the name Lieutenant Dan. But if you gonna be messing with people Mess with people who doing something wrong. This man wasn't bothering nobody. Lieutenant Dan wasn't bothering nobody. To be real with you, he was a hero in the Tampa area. We were just happy that bruh made it through the hurricane. Leave Lieutenant Dan alone. Now, last but not least, all right? And y'all might want to buckle up for this one because it's going to get a little bumpy. But let's get into it. Now, this is Anthony. This is his wife. Now, he was, okay, a sheriff here at the Orange County Police Department here in Florida. And this is his wife, who also was a sheriff at the Orange County Police Department. Now, a few days ago, they found the wife non-responsive, all right? And they thought it might have came from, self-inflicted wounds. But from the beginning of this whole thing, seems a little fishy. Well, seemed a lot fishy. Now, when this all happened, everybody was just in shock, all right? Because, she wasn't mentally, thinking like this, all right? So when they started asking the husband questions, this is where things starting to get a little fishy because apparently he had an affair. And they had been arguing. That's what started all of this. Now, like I said, they were arguing. And in the midst of this arguing, he must have took out his wife. But he staged this whole event to make it look like she took herself out. So when they questioned Anthony, he says that, we were arguing. We had a pretty rough night. So I took the kids, right? They got 2 kids. I took the kids away from the home to give the wife some space. And when they came back, she was in that state. Now, when the investigators, they questioned him, he said, before I called the police, I tried to give CPR, such and such, but, it was just too late. But he does something really weird. He records himself giving the CPR and, making the police phone call. But the investigators say that the time of death didn't, add up. She was probably already gone when he was doing the CPR. And also, the wounds that she had didn't support her doing it herself. You get what I'm saying? So you already know how that's going to go. He going to be the first suspect because he already said they was arguing. He took the kids, left the house. That's just a classic setup for you did it. Now, as y'all clearly can see, they did, arrest him, and they are charging him, with this crime. But you know what it is about, evil, policia? They think they know everything, all right? They think they can, plan it out like you some kind of reverse detective. No, you can't run from evidence, bro. You can't run from evidence. Now, look. I don't know what y'all gonna do to remember this. Like it, comment, share it. I don't know. But the more you know. Peace.